Welcome back to Inform Overload. Today we're counting down the top 10 celebrity reactions to Matthew Perry's tragic death. Number 10, Friends community. In the wake of Matthew Perry's sudden death, reactions and tributes have been pouring in from the Friends community, including some of his former co-stars. Many of these amazing tributes pay homage to Perry's life and legacy, both on and off screen. The official Friends account on Instagram made a post saying, "We are devastated to learn of Matthew Perry's passing. He was a true gift to us all. Our heart goes out to his family, his loved ones, and all of his fans." A representative for the actor and law enforcement confirmed his death to NBC News. He was found at his home in Pacific Palisades after an apparent drowning. He was only 54. Known best for his iconic portrayal of Chandler Bing in the long-running sitcom Friends, Matthew Perry won international recognition and critical acclaim throughout his prolific Hollywood career. Aside from Friends, he also starred in television series and films like Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, Growing Pains, Ally McBeal, 17 Again, and many more. Perry received an Emmy nomination in 2002 for an outstanding lead actor in a comedy series for his role as Chandler Bing, and later Emmy and Golden Globe nominations for his performance in the 2007 miniseries The Ron Clark Story. His struggles with substance abuse were very well documented, and he shared more details about those experiences in a memoir released last year. It was called Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. Number 9, Gwyneth Paltrow. The actress knew Matthew Perry quite well. In fact, he wrote about her in his 2022 memoir. Gwyneth has now posted a heartbreaking tribute to him on Instagram. She started by explaining that she met him in 1993 at the Williamstown Theatre Festival in Massachusetts, because at the time they were both there for summer doing plays. She wrote, "He was so funny and so sweet and so much fun to be with. We drove out to swim in creeks, had beers in the local college bar, kissed in a field of long grass. It was a magical summer." Matthew wrote in his memoir about once kissing Gwyneth in a broom covered in Williamstown. She wrote in her tribute that at that time he had shot the Friends pilot and he was very nervous because he was hoping that his big break was just around the corner. And as we know, the show really did become his big break when it premiered on NBC in September of 1994. Towards the end of her post, Gwyneth wrote, "We stayed friends for a while until we drifted apart, but I was always happy to see him when I did. I am super sad today, as so many of us are. I hope Matthew is at peace at long last. I really do." Number 8, Maggie Wheeler. The actress who portrayed Chandler's ex-girlfriend Janice on the show also remembered the late actor Matthew Perry in a statement that she posted with NBC News. She wrote, "Matthew was an incredibly generous actor. There was no single time I stepped onto stage with him that I did not feel lifted by his brilliance. Even in his darkest moments, his comedic timing was impeccable." Maggie said that Matthew suffered so terribly as his book revealed to the world, and that she hopes that he is at peace beyond that suffering. Quote, "He died way too soon and will be missed by all who loved and knew him in life, and as the beloved Chandler Bing." Maggie also shared a tribute on Instagram alongside a photo of the two of them from the show. She wrote, "What a loss. The world will miss you, Matthew Perry. The joy you brought to so many in your short lifetime will live on. I feel so blessed by every creative moment that we shared." In the show, Janice and Chandler were no doubt a fan favorite couple. For a recurring character who only appeared in 20 episodes of the show's 236 episodes, Janice's relationship with the gang added a surprisingly interesting subplot to the show. And even though she ultimately didn't end up with Chandler, there are still so many people who love to see their romance unfold on screen. Number 7, the Friends creators. The team behind the NBC sitcom co-creators Martha Koppman and David Crane, as well as executive producer Kevin Bright, all came together to share an amazing tribute to the late actor. They wrote, "We are shocked and deeply saddened by our beloved friend Matthew's passing. It still seems impossible. All we can say is that we feel blessed to have him as a part of our lives. He was a brilliant talent." They said that Matthew embodied the role of Chandler and made the role his own. Quote, "We will always cherish the joy, the light, the blinding intelligence he brought to every moment, not just to his work but in life as well. He was always the funniest person in the room. More than that, he was the sweetest with a giving and selfless heart. We send all of our love to his family and his friends. This truly is the one where our hearts are broken." Warner Brothers also issued their own statement about the star in response to the news. They said, "We are devastated by the passing of our dear friend Matthew Perry. Matthew was an incredibly gifted actor and an incredible part of the Warner Brothers television group company. The impact of his comedic genius was felt around the world, and his legacy will live on in the hearts of so many." Number 6, Shannen Doherty. Matthew Perry made a guest appearance on 90210 as Roger Azarian, but his friendship with Shannen went far beyond his role on the show. Shannen posted a lengthy tribute to a friend on Instagram, sharing a photo posing with Matthew and another friend. In the caption, she recalled growing up with him, as she shared several funny stories about the shenanigans that he would often get into. She wrote, "We just always had fun and supported each other. You would always find us together in a booth speaking in our own made-up language. And yes, Matt always had that sense of humor. Matthew's iconic iconic performance on Friends may forever link him with New York City, but you might not know that he actually described himself as half Canadian, and he detailed his childhood spent growing up in Canada with his mother in his memoir, though eventually New York City became his home. Shannen also shared that she and Matthew once went on a date for Valentine's Day, but her dad had to score them the reservation when he couldn't reserve a table at a restaurant in Malibu. She said, "Our friendship spanned a long time, a lifetime really. I know many are hurting, especially our little gang. He'll be missed by many and definitely by us. Yes, I could be more poetic or say things better right now, but shock and sadness prevail." Number 5, Rumer Willis. The actress shared an emotional tribute to Matthew on her Instagram story. She recalled her interactions with him on the set of The Whole 9 Yards and its sequel, which he starred in with Rumer Willis's father, Bruce Willis. She wrote, "I'm so sad to hear about Matthew Perry passing. When I was a kid and I was on set while he and my dad were doing Whole 9 and Whole 10 Yards, he was so kind and funny and sweet with my sister and me, and I think his physical comedy and that movie still makes me laugh so much." Rumer went on to say, "I know he had many challenges in his life and brought a lot of joy to people with his comedy. I hope he can rest peacefully." Matthew Perry's friend and co-star D.L. Huey also shared a statement about his passing. He called the loss so very sad and said that Matthew was a professional, an incredibly funny and wonderful human being. Quote, "He was always so generous and gracious on set. I learned a lot from him and I was lucky to have had a chance to work with him." Number 4, Selma Blair. The actress shared a loving tribute to Matthew Perry on Instagram. She posted a selfie of the two of them together and she wrote, "My oldest boyfriend. All of us loved Matthew Perry, I did especially. Every day I loved him unconditionally and he me. And I'm broken-hearted. Sweet dreams, Maddie, sweet dreams." Valerie Bertolini, who starred with Matthew in the sitcom Sydney, reshared a post about him on her Instagram story. She simply wrote, "Rest in peace, sweet man." Mia Soravano, who starred with the late actor on Parallel Lives, also took to Twitter to mourn his loss. She wrote, "Oh no, Matthew Perry, you sweet troubled soul. May you find peace and happiness in heaven, making everyone laugh with your singular wit." With many celebrities expressing their sorrow at this tragic news, it just goes to show you how beloved he was in Hollywood and how many lives he touched during his time as a working actor. While Friends is a series that he will always be known for, there are many other incredible qualities and accomplishments that Matthew will be remembered for. Number 3, Yvette Nicole Brown. The actress who starred with Matthew on the TV series The Odd Couple shared a message for her former castmate. She said, "It was an honor of a lifetime to get to work with the comedic genius that was Matthew Perry. He was kind, loving, hilarious, and just a sweetheart of a man. My heart breaks that we are speaking of him in past tense when his spirit was here, so playful and vibrant even in the midst of his struggles. The loss of Maddie is a loss for the whole world. I weep for his family and for everyone else who loved him dearly. Rest well, friend." Then in another post on Instagram, she shared a cast photo followed by a snap of Brown and Perry sitting next to one another on stage. She wrote, "Our Odd Couple family suffered a great loss today. The entire entertainment world has. I'm too sad about the news to say more than this. Matthew Perry was a sweetheart who deserved more peace in this life. I'm heartbroken to hear of his passing. I'm sad for the great talent the world has lost because of it." Hours after sharing her initial post, Brown posted again on Instagram, this time sharing her love for Matthew. She posted another photo of the two of them sitting side by side on stage as she appeared to laugh at something that he was saying. She also posted another photo that included the show's cast and simply wrote, "We love you, Maddie." Number 2, Adele. The LA Times reported that Adele took a moment during her Las Vegas residency performance to pay tribute to the late actor. On stage, she reflected on Matthew's death despite not really knowing him, sharing that some of her favorite memories when she was young involved his character Chandler. She said her friend Andrew did a great impression of the character and would whip it out to make his friends laugh. Quote, "If any of us were having a bad day or feeling low, he would just pretend to be Chandler, and I remember that character for the rest of my life." Morgan Fairchild, who portrayed Chandler's mother on the iconic sitcom, also shared a touching sentiment about the late actor. She tweeted, "I'm heartbroken about the untimely death of my son Matthew Perry. The loss of such a brilliant young actor is a shock. I'm sending love and condolences to his friends and family, especially his dad, John Bennett Perry, who I worked with on Flamingo Road and Falcon Crest." Fairchild also shared a sweet note about Matthew as a child and responded to a fan who shared their condolences for their loss. And coming in at number 1, Paget Brewster. The actor who had a guest starring arc on Friends during season 4 shared a sweet tribute to Matthew on Twitter. She played Kathy, a woman who finds herself the subject of both Chandler and Joey's affections and struggles to choose between them. Brewster requested that people read his memoir memoir about addiction called Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, because she says this was a part of his legacy to help. Quote, "He was lovely to me on Friends, and every time I saw him in the decades after, please read his book. It was his legacy to help. He won't rest in peace though, he's already too busy making everyone laugh up there." In his memoir, Matthew talks about achieving that mammoth success and fame, including everything that came with it. At his peak, the series cast members were earning more than $1 million an episode. But his book is about what he calls the big terrible thing, which was his alcoholism and his painkiller addiction. And in the end, that led him to spending more than half of his life in rehab and treatment centers, detoxing more than 65 times and paying upwards of $9 million trying to get sober. After going through all that, he chose to use his success and his platform for good, helping others to end the cycle and put their life back on the right track. So what do you think about this video and the passing of Matthew Perry? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.